welcome back to my channel. Long time no story time. We're definitely due for one. So today's story, as you can probably tell from the title, would be about how I almost did not marry my husband. Guys, I'm crazy. I'm really crazy. Don't judge me, please. Some of us are crazy as well. We all have a little crazy in us. So just don't judge me and ignore my dog walking around right in front of my camera. Silly dog. Anyways, today's video would be about how I almost didn't marry my husband and all the craziness that led to that decision. To find out, stay tuned and keep watching. So guys, I don't really know where to start this story from because I'm super embarrassed, but what is a YouTube channel without realness? So here you have it. I got engaged about almost 6 years ago. So I've been married for about 6 years now, and 5 years and change. Yeah, almost 6 years. And I got engaged on the 30th of November 2014. That was my engagement. So that's how we got married. Had 2 kids later, but before that, we got engaged in November, as I said. In February, by I think Valentine's Day was our first Valentine's Day being together as now engaged people. He had come from Abuja. Abuja is the capital of Nigeria, and I was living in Lagos, running my business in Lagos. And so the plan was that I was going to relocate, obviously, to meet him after we got married. At that point, obviously, I was still living in Lagos, so he came to spend Valentine's weekend and week with me, so we can, you know, plan our wedding, meet a lot of vendors, because our wedding was coming up shortly, like 3 months, I think, yeah, 3 months after that. By the time he came in very late. I was already exhausted waiting. There were delayed flights and he had to stay back for a meeting. It was just really annoying, but he did come and I was excited to see him. So when we were wrapping up the dinner, he said to me, "Babe, I'm really sorry, but I have to leave tomorrow morning." I was like, huh? Like, I don't understand. You just came here. You're staying here less than 24 hours and you want to go back? I don't get, like, that wasn't the plan. He's like, "I know, I'm so sorry. Something came up on the meeting that made me stay late. I need to go back and continue tomorrow. And, you know, I really would love to stay. You know this, but I have to go." And, you know, first of all, it's like, this is a joke, right? Like, this is not happening. But no, it wasn't a joke. He really meant it and he had to go. And when I realized that there was no changing his mind, he wasn't budging, I got really upset. And I was like, "I can't believe you're doing this. Like, this is our first..." Now I can't stop now. I'm like, see my ring. Anyways, this is like our first Valentine's Day being engaged. And why would you do this? Like, why are you so thoughtless? And guys, I literally went from 0 to 360. Like, I was going on and on. I was like, this doesn't make any sense. Like, why would you want to marry me if you can't even spend some time with me? I think you should just go find out someone else that you really want to spend time with. Like, because this makes no sense to me. What would it take from you to spend just the weekend with me? I'm not even asking you to spend the whole week as you had initially planned, but just spend the weekend with me, and we have a lot of meetings to attend to and a lot of vendors to visit, and now you just want to up and leave. Like, that's not nice. Adding to the fact that we were supposed to spend time together. He's like, "I really have to go," and I just kept yapping away, and at some point he's like, "This conversation is not really going where I want it to go, and I would rather not spend this night with you like this. I think I'm just gonna go upstairs and go to bed. Are you coming?" You would have thought he was talking to the wall, because I just flat out ignored him. I'm just like, I'm not talking to this guy. I'm not even listening. And after like 30 seconds, he's like, "Okay, I'll see you upstairs." And he left. He went upstairs. And I must have waited downstairs for about 30, 40. It felt longer, guys. It felt like maybe an hour, but it must have been like 30 minutes. And I went upstairs and I was like, I can't even believe, like, when I was going upstairs, I was like, I can't believe this guy actually left me here. What if something happened to me? What if, like, someone tried to talk to me? What if someone grabbed me? Like, how can he just leave me here? What kind of man is this? I've always known it, that these guys, they ain't loyal. Like, I'm like saying all sorts of things, right? You guys, I should have just studied drama in school, not accounting, because there's no need for certain irrational things I do or say sometimes. But hey, that's just who I am. And I went upstairs fuming like that, being so angry. And guys, guess what? This guy had gone to bed. Like, he literally had dozed off. He slept. So I think that even just seeing that, oh my god, my blood started boiling. Like, I was so upset. I was like, you left me downstairs and came here and slept off. Guys, I lost it. I was so mad. I started to cry. I was like, I cannot believe you. You are so selfish. You're not a nice guy. Like, what was I even thinking? Thinking I'm going to spend the rest of my life with you. You don't think about anybody else but yourself. The more I spoke, the more he ignored me because he was sleeping, the more I annoyed myself. Like, I was aggravating myself for no reason because the person I was talking to was not even listening, was sleeping. And so me just constantly saying that over and over again just kept annoying me because I wasn't getting any response. I wasn't getting any reply from him because he just wasn't awake. But I noticed that he started tossing and turning at some point, so he had woken up. And that's when I was like, you know what? I'm really just done with this kind of behavior. Like, you're so stubborn, you don't listen, it's your way or the highway. Why are we even trying to do this? I think we should just end this right now. Like, guys, I didn't mean anything I was saying. I was just like trying to get his attention for him to just hold me and say, baby's okay. But no, he wasn't giving me that. I was just going like, no, I can't believe you. Can't you just see I'm hurt? I'm crying. You just don't get it. You're here sleeping. Like, you know what? I'm just going to leave. Like, I'm just going to go back home. He's like, Onyi, do not go anywhere. He actually called my name. When he calls my name, he's really angry. He's like, don't go anywhere. Sit here, go to bed. We'll talk tomorrow. How about that? I'm like, no, leave me alone. Don't talk to me. You don't care. You're just so tactless. You don't know how to behave. You know, this is such a little thing that we could have just sorted out. But to you, I mean nothing. I'm nothing to you for you to just leave me downstairs and come here. Do you know what would have happened to me downstairs? I'm leaving. I'm done. I meant I'm leaving. I'm going home. Not I'm done with the relationship. But obviously, the guy heard what he heard and I said what I said. So, God, I'm so embarrassed. So I actually legit left. When he told me not to leave, I left and I started to go home. But I wanted to use it that you didn't even care to see how I got home or what happened to me. I wanted to use that as the next attack. But obviously on getting out, here I realized that he had come down to the reception area and had looked outside to make sure that I was going with someone, like I was going with a driver and not taking a cab, because I had told him that I was going to take a cab. So he needed to make sure that, stop it! He needed to make sure that I was going with a driver and not a cab. So I was not happy that I wasn't going to use that one against him anymore anyway. So I got home, I was so mad. I wasn't going to call him. I just sent me a text. I was like, I really think we're making a mistake here. Maybe we should rethink. The guy, he didn't reply me. He's just probably like, what have I signed up for? This is madness. Anyways, so yeah, I slept that night. I woke up the next morning. He laughed. He actually sent me a text saying, off to Abuja and take care of yourself. I didn't know what that meant. I didn't respond to him. So that whole day I cried. I didn't talk to him. I didn't call him. He didn't call me. I remember going to my friend's house. Her name is Amaka, and I'm telling her, like, Amaka, can you imagine what happened? You know, I broke everything down to her. I was like, he's so selfish. You know how you come to your girl for support? You finish just breaking it down. You expect her to be like, guy, that guy is wrong. He's like, babe, what you're saying doesn't make sense. Guy had a meeting. He had to leave. And you made a fuss. He told you not to leave the hotel. And you left. And now you're upset. I'm a little confused what you want. You told him you're done. Or everything that you've said, he hasn't said much to you. What exactly are you crying about? You know, there's a way that you get schooled. I would never, she probably doesn't remember this conversation, or maybe she does. But I just mellowed. Like, when she broke it down that way, I was like, oopsie. Like, yeah, this is all me. Like, this is all me. It just hit me then that I kind of overreacted. And I've told this guy that I'm done. And my husband is very stubborn. And I was like, okay, what do I do now? She's like, you better pick up the phone and call him and start apologizing. I was like, oh God, this really sucks. I hate to be wrong. I hate to apologize, but how do I do this? I called this guy, he didn't pick up. I called him the whole day. He did not pick up his phone. He didn't respond to me. He didn't pick up his phone. He didn't do anything. I was like, that's happened. I've used my own hand to end it. He didn't pick up his phone. So that Monday, I think it was on Tuesday. So that was a weekend. On Tuesday, his mom was coming to Lagos to come do some shopping for the wedding and go to the market and stuff. So when his mom came, she had been asking me, oh, have you seen B? Have you seen B? Have you spoken to him? I was like, I've not spoken to him. And I think he must have told her what happened or hinted. He's not the kind to really talk much. My husband is not a talker. He lets me do all the talking. But he must have hinted, like, we just had a little argument. But she didn't sound like she knew anything serious was happening. But the way I hadn't spoken to him, like, she was in Lagos for like 3 days, I hadn't spoken to him, and then every day she would ask me, I'd say I haven't spoken to him, but she was talking to him, so she was trying to put 2 and 2 together to know what was really going on. So she had this, I remember she took me down to a place to have lunch, and she had this whole chat about, guys are guys, you really just need to be patient, you guys are getting to know yourself, and I was like, Mom, I don't know, like, I just don't know, like, sometimes the way you feel for someone should show when you're acting, and when it doesn't show, like when you just act anyhow you didn't fit, then it really speaks volume of how you really feel. My mom is like, you really can't just be going all emotional about this, you really need to just calm down. I don't know what happened, he hasn't told me anything, but I sense that you guys are kind of in a bad place, and I just need you to think about it and calm down. It's like, and I said to her, Mom, maybe she wouldn't, all this wedding stuff you are doing, maybe you even need to put it on hold, because the way things are looking, I don't really understand. Just probably like, okay. Anyways, so that's how that kind of just went on. And then I think by the weekend, so it was a whole week had passed, we hadn't spoken. I was convinced that we were done. I didn't say anything to my family members. Mind you, everyone was getting ready for a wedding. I didn't say anything to anyone. I just packed my things. For that Friday, I called a mutual friend in Abuja, and I said, I'm going to Abuja to see my boyfriend, my husband, and I need your help because we're fighting. I needed to make sure that he's around and not going out of town or anything like that. I need to just come and make peace with him because I kind of acted cray-cray. And I explained everything to her, and she's like, girl, you crazy. Like, you're a full-time crazy girl. So I went, we planned it all. I remember, gosh, I risked my life. I took the night flight. It was like 10 p.m. Got to Abuja. My friend had told him to meet her somewhere, and that's where I went. I took a cab and I met them there, and he saw me, and he just kind of, my husband is like, rolled his eyes, like, he didn't even ask, like, surprised, like, what are you doing? He's just like, I really don't want to deal with this girl right now. Like, and I'm looking at him, he's looking at me. Obviously at that point I don't want to show him that I know that I was wrong, but I was just like looking at him like, do you want to talk? Like, are you gonna talk on that? Like, I'm not saying sorry to you, like, are you gonna speak? And he looked at me and he just sighed, like, and he just kept walking. So I just followed him, and my friend just left at that point, gave us the space that we needed, and we went to sit down in one place, one corner, and we started talking, and he just kept going on about how I cannot behave like this, it's not acceptable, it's just not an adult thing to do, and I don't want to call you a child, I don't want to call you a brat either. Like, don't do that, don't do that to me, you will not get your way. And I was trying to explain to him, like, I just felt like you needed to understand why I needed you to stay, and I just felt like you weren't listening and you were disregarding everything I was telling you. And he goes, and that's a reason for you to throw a fist? I was like, well, I was wrong. I just think that the whole coming to spend less than 12 hours with me on Valentine's Day, it's like, Valentine's Day is just another day. Like, you need to chill. And that's my husband, really. Like, he's like, birthday is just another day, Valentine's is just another day. It could be a Monday, it could be a Tuesday. Like, why are you stressing over this? Like, I love you every day. Stop it. So I'm just like, yeah, it's okay, I understand. And it wasn't all merry. We went home, and it was still like, I tried to cook for him, I told him I was sorry, I told him that it's just one of those things that happen when I was used to kind of getting my way with you when we were dating, so I kind of expected that. And you didn't give me that, so I was low-key upset, and I just overreacted. I'm really sorry, but and I swear to God, I think at that moment it really sealed it for me that I'm gonna marry this guy, because I've had relationships where, most of my relationships, I would say, I would have gotten away with that kind of behavior, because they would have thought, okay, I don't want to lose her, and they will make peace, and I almost like, most of my relationship, I would have gotten away with that kind of behavior. It's almost like they would have let me have my way, just so peace will reign. But my husband is a very strong person. He's very strong, and I know that I've always said it, that I don't need a pushover. Like, I need a strong person because I'll take advantage of them. Like, he's like, how much piss can I take? Like, it's really what I do most of the times, and I really realized that I needed someone with firm hands to show me that no, you can't do that. It's not okay. It's not okay to be crazy, and you know, fix me up when I try to act crazy. And I really made up my mind at that point that this was the guy for me. I made the right decision, and 6 years later, we're still married. We got 2 kids. I'm still annoying him. He's still annoying me, but we're still managing ourselves, and we love every bit of it. But one thing that I took out of this is really, you know, if this would have happened now, I would have acted a lot differently, just because I've become self-aware. And self-awareness is something that within the last 2 years I've really tried to perfect for myself. There are times where people would say things to me, and immediately I react emotionally. Like, I just get upset, I get defensive. But these days, just knowing myself, I've realized that sometimes people say things to me that are actually true, and it just like I know that it's true about myself. So I don't have to argue, I don't have to get defensive, I don't have to get emotional. There's something about knowing yourself that gives you power and confidence to speak, and speak smartly, and not just dabble into emotions and just speak recklessly. So that's really one thing that I've got, like, as far as growth is concerned. I really just think that being self-aware and understanding, studying yourself, understanding your behaviors and your deficiencies is very, very helpful to be able to combat, like, you know, conflicts or issues when you come across them. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this story time. Please don't judge me. We're all crazy. We all have our times where we just acted like cuckoo. But anyways, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Do not forget to subscribe. Till next time, guys, catch you at the spot. Deuces.